Hey guys, Matt Driver here, 5x3 Fishing, and we're going to talk today about the new high-speed gear ratios that a lot of the reel companies are coming up with, and kind of how they're going to help us out as fishermen, especially when we're fishing deep and we've got to take up a lot of slack from the big arch or the bow in our line when we're fishing so deep. So we're going to go over a few things here in just a second to kind of give you a realistic view of what's going on with a high-speed gear ratio. All right, first thing off, why do we need to take up that much slack? Well, first of all, if most of you have tried this, take a jig and hold it tight in your hand and have your friend stand over there and set the hook on it. You think, wow, it's just going to jerk it into my hand. But really, a lot of energy is absorbed through the line and through that rod, so you really don't have a whole lot of movement with that bait. So the more bow we have in the line, the more stretch we're going to have. No matter if you're using braid or fluorocarbon or whatever, it's going to be a lot of energy absorbed between that rod tip and that bait. So we want as much punch at that hook tip as we possibly can. So one thing that we can correct is taking up slack, and you'll see it even on the tour right now. You'll see guys, they'll say they're getting a bite, and you'll see them start reeling at the same time as they're starting to set the hook. They'll load that rod up good before they set the hook. Well, what this, as I'm calling it right now, these super gear ratioed reels are going to do is allow us to take up that line a whole lot faster so that we can get more punch to that hook tip. What we're going to do now, I'm going to cut this off. We're going to get over here and I'm going to show you the difference between a 6-to-1 gear ratio and an 8-to-1. I could sit here, be all scientific with you and say, give you calculations on how to figure and gear ratios. If you're like me, I want to know cut and dry, what difference is it going to make for me? So here we go. All right, guys. First reel we're going to use here is a 5-2-to-1. This is more of your cranking reel. And what we're going to do is I'm marking right here as my reel, and I'm going to see how many times it takes to take up 6 foot of line. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 to take up 6 foot of line. All right. On to the next one. All right, next reel here is a 6-2-to-1. This is your more common reel that is kind of universal across the board. All right, so how many times does it take with this one? 1, 2, 3. So 3. So on to the next one. All right, this next reel here is a 7-to-1 gear ratio. So count it. 1, 2, about 2.5. So not too much difference between the 6-2-to-1 and the 7-to-1 gear ratio. All right, guys, last reel here. This is a Lew's Speed Spool 8-3-to-1. It's a fairly new reel to the market. And what I'm going to do is we're going to make our handle rotations here to see how many turns it takes. 1 turn, 2 turns. 2 turns to take 6 feet of line up, and that's going to be a big time game changer in my opinion when you're fishing deep, to choose the appropriate equipment to take up that big bow in the line, that slack, and get a better hook set on those deep fish. So not trying to sway you, not trying to put you toward any certain brand, just know out there that these new higher gear ratios are going to be more beneficial than a lot of people are thinking. But I appreciate you watching, guys, and we'll talk to you later.